Welcome back to the class, everyone. We are here for our final GAC match of this 5v5 season, and we finally look like we got an opponent that isn't just going to completely crush us materially. That being said, it's still going to be challenging. The fact that he has made it here the same that we has means that he is probably going to be a really good player and is still going to be a challenge. So, current opponent here is Bait. I'm not sure that's how it's pronounced, but getting a closer look at his roster overall, you can see we're finally dealing with a manageable number. A lot of our other opponents have had risk ratings of 96 or 100 or something obscene like that. He has the risk rating of 50, which if you're unfamiliar with how this risk rating works, that means as far as material advantage go, what is that? Galactic Legends, Relic levels, Omicrons. It means we're about even. 50 is kind of where the even mark falls. So he does have Jabba on us, and that kind of sucks. And then he has a little bit more relic levels than us, only 140. Nothing too extreme like the 800 that we've previously seen. But he's a lot less GAC Omicrons, including a really important one, which is Savages. So we're on pretty equal terms. Again, he has some stuff, we have some stuff. But overall, it's not nearly as bad as a lot of the other ones have been. Looking at our board, I actually did leave a little bit of a harder board for this guy just because I knew that we're probably not going to have to chew through that much. He doesn't have Afro, which is also nice for us. I went ahead and moved Starkiller to my bottom wall, and the reason why is because CLS is now sitting on my back wall. We were taking CLS on offense for the longest time, but he's back there right now. And I'm kind of hoping he pulls Grievous here so that CLS can actually be pretty troubling in the back wall. Malgus, Lord Vader, the Travage Kron down below, pretty standard. CLS in the back, and then everything else is pretty much the same for us. And then as far as his defenses go, I'm really glad I'm not seeing gas because that's what CLS was really doing. It looks like he has changed things for his Lord Vader Kron, so that could be complicated. And then the Traya team, this doesn't worry me that much. It really doesn't. Talon there is going to complicate things just slightly. But with no Savage, this team does become instantly a lot easier. The BAM team up top, been a while since we've seen that, but it looks like it has a complicated Scoundrel Kron, so we'll have to deal with that when we get to it. And then top wall looks pretty standard. He actually does have Starkiller on defense as well as Rey, Malgus, and then really similar teams to what we have. The only difference is it looks like he doesn't have the TIE Fighter pilot Omicron, so we have a pretty equal match. Let's see where we go. Alright, so we're going to be starting out with a little bit of a fan favorite of ours being Bad Batch versus Rogue One. Really simple counter. Having Omega there is really nice in the very beginning, just in case they're faster, they can't actually get in and do anything fun to Echo. And then once Echo gets going, there's really just nothing they can do. Really overall solid counter as long as you have your speeds and everything right. And Omega's not even really necessary here. We had someone asked while we were doing the stream if you can like substitute with Shock or Cody, and I think you really can if the margins are close enough. While I do like her, she's not quite as necessary as a lot of other characters and other teams are. So strategy here is pretty simple that we do most of the time. We make sure we go ahead and take out their sides first, and then once the sides are gone, we go ahead and work Adrad himself down, and then once he's down, we obviously kill Jin. We can't do that until Adrad himself is gone, but that's pretty easy to take care of, even with him resisting all of my exposes. So easy 75 there. And then I love Qui-Gon Jinn. I think a lot of my love for him comes from just being a streamer and getting to experience this together with people, because that's just really fun. Going in and using Jedi Anakin's AoE and just wiping the entire team, and there's nothing they can do about it. So easy 62 with Qui-Gon versus the Dash BAM team, which was really fun. And now killing this Lord Vader team is going to be a little bit harder. They had the really heavy turn meter, so we couldn't just take in troopers. So we went ahead and used bounty hunters, and Maul played it perfectly. I guess ideally, looking back, we should have put our first damage meter onto Fennec. Given how it was Mando that cleared it, I figured, it would probably be fine to be able to put it on him, and then we put it on Fennec. But Maul's hits timed everything perfectly enough so that he didn't put anyone to damage immunity. And then you just killed both Fennec and Bosk, which is really bad. So what we're contemplating here right now is Canderous is kind of a problem because he constantly goes in his dot stop turn meter. So if we want to clean this up with troopers, he's very problematic. But at the end of the day, we actually might be able to get more than one kill here if we get Maul out. If we don't get Maul out immediately, he's just going to shred the other three characters. So looking at him, we go ahead and just get rid of Maul. And now the name of the game is wait long enough so that we can get another kill and maybe get Canderous or Lord Vader or someone out. So far it's actually going really well. We're still able to crit a few characters, so we're actually being able to gain that turn meter, which is nice. They're not doing too much damage overall, and for whatever reason, they keep hitting Bam, who has damage meter, and then Bam's damage meter just keeps coming in handy, and then They just do everything to Mano. They ability block and block the ability block, mind you. They get fracture, they get buff immunity, like literally everything that Mano doesn't want. So eventually we do come out of it, and Grieve just keeps saving our Mando, and then on top of that, we get the kill. We were able to get Canderous down, and then we let it time out from there. And unfortunately, the cooldowns were not quite in the right place, and you're going to see that. Thrawn had Fracture just ready to go, which is very annoying, because this, I mean, this is supposed to be a really easy counter right now, and it's now going to be a lot harder. The bright side is, for out of all the characters that I have that he could have fractured, fracturing range was by far the best option. Really can't fracture Dark, can't fracture Piet, can't fracture General Veers or Gideon. So I mean that really worked out in our best interest here. And now range is actually going to come in a pretty nice time when not that many people have turn meter, generate some more, and get us to the point where we can just get a bunch of really nasty Dark Assists right in a row and actually get Lord Vader down. So very good job, troopers. Did have a little bit of RNG on our side there with who they fractured, but I thought I had checked everything, so that wouldn't even happen. Going in and taking down their Traya team. There is no Savage here, but Talon is here, which makes it complicated. Although I don't know. Yeah, it makes it complicated, because the issue with Talon is we can't just go right for Traya. We have to kill her. If not, we trigger her savior-esque mechanic, which gas and stopping revives won't even stop that. So just going through this battle, trying to make our way and trying to avoid dropping, especially Nihilus, below 90% health. We went ahead and waited a second on using our AoE there, so that we would be able to get Talon out, and then Talon just constantly making Scion tank. This is very annoying. But going after her, trying to get her down, because once Talon's dead, we can kill Traya, and then once Traya is dead, Nihilus no longer gets to have the ability to reduce his cooldowns when he goes into 90% health. I do think we probably just got a little bit of bad RNG here. The way that things ended up with our attacks and whatnot really just wasn't ideal. And then on top of that, you'll see it here in a second. We weren't really able to gauge things out quite right with Nihilus, and he gets his annihilate right when our guy is standing. We don't even get the sacrifice at the right time because we were really dumb and we taunted. We probably could have gotten one more kill here had we not done that, because getting the super clones going, it can be very rough for them to take out, especially with all that health and protection. So probably did not play that in the best interest. Now this is interesting, and I think not only is it interesting for this battle, but I think this has potential. I think this is probably going to be the counter to Traya that isn't a Galactic Legend. And it's I guess it's a little ironic because it was right in front of our eyes the entire time. Jedi Knight Revan is the OG counter to Traya. Like, he's the very first thing out there. If anyone's wondering why we took our Ezra, it's because our only other relic option was Ayla, and Ayla constantly stunning is a debuff and can actually make the team very hard to kill. That being said, we get through Traya immediately. She builds a bonus protection. For those of you who don't know or weren't playing the game at the time, Jedi Knight Revan, he came in as the meta replacement to Traya, and there are specific caveats in his kit that were meant to kill her. The main one being any enemy that has bonus protection, when you basic them, if you have enough potency through the tenacity check, you lower their overall max health, so the bonus protection eventually just dies down. So that's why Traya died so quickly there in the beginning, even though we were applying quite a few debuffs to her, was because we were reducing her max health. That's why, side note, it's very important to have Bastila here, because Bastila adds a lot of just straight potency to Jedi Knight Revan through her unique, but her battle meditation actually adds potency to everyone, so it really negates any type of tenacity mine that anyone has. And this part here is just a slog getting through the rest. Nihilus was very tanky because we already applied a lot of debuffs to Traya, so he gained a lot of max health. And then this quite frankly is just very annoying. It takes several hits to get Scion down, and every time we're hitting Scion, he has a chance to inflict pain. And if he's inflicting pain, the cooldown on Hell by Hatred is getting reset, and he's able, pretty much we're looking at possibly just getting into a loop where we can't actually kill him. So we have to be very careful there. Duke is just annoying as he does. So going forward, though, spoiler alert, this counter is going to work. We're going to kill everyone. I'm trying to figure out what is going to be the ideal Jedi Knight Revan team here. And I'm almost thinking typically they won't go that fast with turn meters, so we don't need to worry that much about a pre-taunt, but I think a taunt in general, because when they went in, they made sure to isolate Bastila and not Grandmaster Yoda, which I think might just be the end of this. That being said, I think Jedi Knight Revan, Grandmaster Yoda, Baslashawn, and then the other two, probably old Ben and Cam. I really don't like Cam. Has been very nice. Like Jedi Knight Anakin's damage would not have been nearly what it was had Cam not been on that team. But I guess the other option is Ezra, or maybe even I don't want to wait this long. But the Cal Kestis Survivor we're getting, he's going to be a new Jedi. If he's just really a solid attacker, maybe that's where it goes. So I guess, you know, I could use Katarn as well, actually. He has some anti-Sith stuff. Huh. Yeah, and Mount Mothma really isn't doing a whole lot for me nowadays. Alright, anyways. So we're going ahead and taking our SLKR versus Jabba. This was on the back wall, which I'm really, really glad that Jedi Revan was able to beat Traya. Because if Jedi Revan didn't beat Traya, I was going to have to drop a Galactic Legend on it, and it would have been either SLKR or C, which would have prevented us from full clearing, which would have been an automatic loss. So yeah, we go ahead and take in our SLKR here. He does, as you can see, just fine. No real problems. They didn't have a level 9 Datacron, so there was really no fear at all. And then we had to take out their Star Killer using, you know, the age-old classic of General Grievous. I think starting probably next, maybe even next 3v3 and 5v5, I think our Star Killer is going to finally become an offensive team. I've had a lot of people telling me that for a very long time now, and we've kind of held off for doing it, but I think I have to actually go back through and look through the records, but I think Grievous was beating our Star Killer for almost good banners every single time. Although, spoiler alert again for this video, Grievous actually holds several times. So I need to look into the history and see what this was doing. But there's a very real possibility this comes off defense for us next time. So this is where the battle gets really sketchy, where GK gets his cleanse and we lose all of our target lock and everything like that, and Starkiller can actually do things now. We do make sure to dispel the taunt from GK, and now we have buff immunity on him as well. We finally re-get all of our target locks, and I mean Starkiller's barely taken a turn by now, so we make sure to get all of the extortion out there. Starkiller still has it, so he's super slow, and then Grievous just kills him for 62. Very nice, very good. Now, speaking of how we would use Starkiller, probably against Rey. Right now, we've been using Jedi Master Luke, and Jedi Master Luke has honestly been doing just fine. A little bit of an expensive comp, I guess, with both Jolie and Jedi Luke in there. But it works, and we fought so many different Rey teams this last 5v5. We fought them with, like, the Scoundrel mixes in there, as well as, yeah, Vandor Dash, L3, and I feel like there was one other really weird one that we fought at some point. It was, like with Swordy or something like that. All of them, I think they're actually built to stop Starkiller, and really nobody cares that when you use JML versus Rey. So we've been just fine there. Strategy is always kill the less important sides, so basically not Ben, because the goal here is to kill once all the sides are down. Then we do the dance with Rey and Ben, where we get Rey perfectly to 1 health, kill Ben, and then kill Rey immediately so she doesn't have a chance to come back. And that's pretty much exactly what we do here. So get Ben into damage immunity, we get Rey into damage immunity. Now the name of the game is get Rey underneath. We are trying to keep inspired off of Rey, that way she doesn't have the or she's not gaining offense every single time that we gain turn meter, which we actually do gain quite a little bit of micro turn meter on this team. I do try to keep the ability block on Ben, primarily just so he doesn't get the healing immunity on my Jolie back there, because if he does, it's gonna stink a lot. That can be a win or a loss condition. So now we need, again, name of the game, get Rey to 1% health by whatever means necessary, and then get the one shot on Ben. So she's pretty darn close. We get the stun here for fun. Make sure that Rey is pushed all the way down, and then we kill him. So pretty solid 60 banners. I will take that all day, every day. Next up is going to be our C Watt versus Malgus. Pretty easy as well. I mean, there's really not a lot to write home about here. You go ahead and link the Malgus. I think Darth Revan, so it goes faster, I guess, but I don't think it really matters. This team could quite possibly win on auto. We've even done it without Watt before, but we had really no reason to risk it this time, so I just decided to not to. Talon here, I think, would actually be a wider cause for wanting Watt, because the ability block, poorly timed with the doubt, you can just not recover protection, period, even through a normal special, and I didn't want to risk that. So we go ahead and relink with Malik and Malgus. You don't have to do it by any means, but we did. And now when we get the Annihilate, both of them are just going to be gone, and we should just be able to wipe out the rest of them. One thing that is kind of interesting here is getting Darth Revan down is actually very troublesome, because he keeps equalizing with the other two. Like, C legitimately just doesn't have enough offense to actually kill Darth Revan while he's equalizing with the rest of the team. Like, we just keep basing him, and his health pool doesn't appear to move. You pay attention to the other two characters, they are losing it. But eventually we just get the We just get the Annihilate, and I guess a Reeling for Darth Revan just in case, but I guess we really didn't need to do that either because he can't equalize with anyone once they're dead. So, easy 64 there. Wampa versus the Sortie team. Not a hard match at all. We've had issues with some other shorties that were, number one, a lot higher geared. This one's gear 12, as well as the fact that the comp just wasn't super superb. Like, I found IPD to be a little bit harder, especially with this Kron right now. His target lock prevents buffs, which is the protection up buff we've been getting, and then, yeah, we destroy them for pretty good banners. And now this one feels a little bit awkward. Inquisitorius versus their Phasma team. Really, it's... The reason why we did this counter is because Phasma was the last team on the board and Inquisitors were the strongest team I had. There isn't some, like, great theory crafting synergy here. This is us just destroying what's left with what we have. And it's a pretty big slaughter. Again, Inquisitors don't really have... I'm trying to figure out a word this. They're a very good team. They're a better team than Crew is, or rather Phasma is. But the synergy isn't clear. They just walk all over them. Alright, so we do get to ships, and they are challenging. They have pretty much the FU defense, which is Profundity, Executor, as well as Negotiator. So we go ahead and take in our Profundity versus Executor. Really killing Xanadu Blood in the opener means this is done. Like, yeah, and then IG dies there. This is going to be a very simple and very easy battle now. So go ahead and get a few hits on Razor Crest. We got the right assist there. We almost would have ended the entire match right at the moment. We stopped getting, like, the great assist from Millennium Falcon there, but then we get it on Razor Crest again. So this is, again, like, this battle was done the very second that we killed Xanadu Blood in the opener. There's just nothing they can do. I mean, I guess Houndstooth is going to just ride this out a little bit longer until we get to ult, but it's really not going to affect our banners in any way here. Slave 1's annoying, especially because we have to hit him. We don't get the assist, so... his retribution kind of stays out a little bit longer than I would have liked. Get our speed up going, and then eventually just take both of them down. I think, yeah, we eventually just get our ult, and then I typically in Squad Arena, or rather Fleet Arena, I would just hit auto here. There's nothing really that's going to be proven through the rest of the battle. We do, the exciting battle that is coming up is going to be Empire versus Profundity, which we've had a lot of success with it before, but it's still a fairly new counter to me, because most people still aren't putting Profundity on defense, so... Easy 70 there, and then we go ahead and take in our Empire. We have this is, I believe, the pretty standard comp, and it's not foolproof, but it is the best one, I think, out there right now. And that is going to be Sith Bomb. Really, it's the Sith starting team. It's Vader, Sith Bomber, as well as Shuttle. We have to make sure we don't taunt here, because if you see how weak Bomber is, it's actually going to put taunt on Vader. So the only real solution here is just a basic... And then we're going to make sure I think we actually did it already. We basicked with Tarkin in the very first hit, so we didn't apply daze, or rather ability block, and clear the daze from Outrider. So losing Sith Bomber that soon isn't ideal, but it does make it pretty important that we pull in our own TIE Bomber. Apply Burning, don't use the special. We want to space out our burn as much as possible, and burning... that's terrible pun. Burning the burn that quickly is not advised, so... We are able to get that out, and now we're in a position where burning really needs to be applied, and we'll get there, but we got rid of Outrider, and then I'm trying to debate here who we go out to first, and I think Hera's big ship is easier to get out, so it does definitely turn out to be easier to get out. We go ahead and bring in our prototype now, which is pretty cool. We could have probably could have brought in Gar as well, but by here, this is pretty much game. So we go ahead and make sure to heal our Vader, apply the burning so that even if they do get out, they can't actually do much. And then, yeah, it's over from there. We probably could have, like, waited this out a little bit to get Gar in, but I just took the kill. So, up next is my favorite fleet ever, the Negotiator. It's not. I hate it. So, we're going to go ahead and take in Malevolence. We have First Order as well. I think First Order is a gamble. I can usually pretty well take out Jedi Anakin, but sometimes the actual win is hard. And this is, I guess to be fair, this is the anti-Malevolence comp. It still annoys me, though. So we take in Spy here, and we get the mark on 5. So that's actually not that bad. Getting on Jedi Anakin in that exact moment wouldn't have been ideal either. So just trying to pace ourselves here, get the right kills in the right places, and then we can eventually, once Hyena gets his turn, we can just snipe out Jedi Anakin if my Vultures would assist. But I digress. So we got out Jedi Anakin, and if you couldn't tell, we're just going to die. So I hate that fleet. I hate that fleet a lot. So we have Finalizer. I mean, it cost us 20 banners, but even this one's annoying. I hate its days. I guess the First Order had some type of cleanse that would make me feel a little bit better, but they don't. So now we just have to sit here and wait for it to come off. And by the time it comes off, one of the other forms comes on, and then I'm just annoyed. And this team gives me so much anxiety. I do not enjoy Negotiator on defense. It is very so much not fun. So we bring in Special Forces just because that way we'll get the assist, and we get another character on top of it. We can finally give turn meter rounds. We just try start to take out all of their ships. And by here, I mean, this was going to be a really easy battle to begin with. It's only with Jedi Anakin being killed, Finalizer really doesn't have a whole lot to worry about, I guess, outside of the days. So, bringing Ebon Hawk for funsies here. Just they typically like to go after him, so it's almost protection in kind of a way. More days, yay. But now at this point, it's just their Plo Koon, and he's not going to do a whole lot to us. So make sure we get the right ability that rips off the buffs, and then we take him out. There we go. And after that battle, we actually end up winning, which means not only did we not lose the toilet bowl in our championship here, but on top of that, we also left this season with a positive score. So we went at 5-4. That's really good. I'm really, really happy about that. This is our 4th winning season in a row, and some of the other winning seasons were big contrasts, like 7-2 or 6-3. This one was only 5-4, which is fine. But the fact that we're still climbing up through Kyber, even against some of the opponents that we've been up against. And to be fair, our loss this season, we got spanked pretty hard. But at the same time, I'm very content with how far we've made it. So Starkill actually held twice, which was cool. Malgus held once up there, and then I believe even our top teams held. And our opponent, very awkwardly enough, got stuck on Negotiator, which is like the fleet I hate the most, but apparently helps me. Couldn't kill Jedi Anakin. That is pretty important for the team. And then on top of that, he actually failed, like we set up top hero over against JMK and Dash. Dash held a lot more than I expected him to. I guess this blind Datacron might not be that bad. And that being said, we actually would have won on efficiency, even if Negotiator hadn't have held. He needed, I think, 92 banners on the last fleet, and that just wasn't going to happen. So, again, very content. Hope you guys learned something, and as always, stay awesome.